The public participation process has been extensive and parliamentary public hearings are expected to take place in the next couple of months. The bill has been years in the making with lots of inputs, but there is still some anxiety.
Business is generally concerned about the rising impact of the price, of the cost of carbon. What's important to understand is that internationally countries are doing two things. Countries are building the structures in the economy to price carbon into the economy, and that's very important. But all of the countries who've done so over time have done it in a way where the net cost of carbon to the economy for the first phase is very close to zero.
Companies have had time to get used to the idea of a carbon tax.
I don't think they are quite ready, and a lot of it comes down to calculating what the tax will be. And in order to calculate the tax, they're reporting obligations on companies to measure and report the amount of emissions that they are generating. So until those regulations have fully come into effect and companies are monitoring properly, they can't really assess the full value of the tax that they may have to pay.
The challenge for business is to see past the short-term implications.
In the short term, for high-emitting businesses, it's going to mean additional costs. So in the short term, costs are going to go up. However, in the long run, the only way in which businesses can stay internationally competitive in South Africa is if we in South Africa do what the rest of the world does, which is to price carbon into the economy.
The legislative process includes the development of regulations. This has lagged behind the development of the actual bill.
On the carbon offsets, there's still a bill that needs to be passed, or regulations that need to be passed on that or created. They haven't been put out to public comment, as well as some of the other allowances also need regulations to be published.
Some businesses aren't waiting around for the law to be implemented to reduce their carbon footprint.
The first thing we did, we reduced the size of the engine capacity of our fleet, and we saved 20%. Then we looked at our head office building, and we did an audit ourselves, and we retrofitted all the light systems to LEDs. We reduced the electrical consumption by 20%. And then we replaced the conventional power with solar.
The bill has been 7 years in the making, and the problem here is now that the actual regulations aren't in play yet, and that could cause the entire process to be slowed down. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.